Yes, people. It's your boy Shaz Mac. As you can see just over here, my Twitter handler. We're back again with finished article, all things WWE. Well, sorry, all things wrestling today. I bring my boy Shazad on and we'll get going. Welcome, Shaz. How are we, bro? Good day.
Good,
Busy
alhamdulillah.
day, chill day. What's it been like for you today, bro?
Combination of both. So,
Yeah.
trying a few things out for the new job that starts next week, inshallah.
Sweet.
And then just a few errands to run in town. You know the drill, the stuff that you can't do when you're working.
That's
So,
it, bro. You've got things to do whilst you're not working, then you can just jump over.
Exactly.
But yeah, let's see. So I'll kick it off like we normally do, bro.
Give a big shout out to everybody that's joined in. So thank you very much for tuning in and take it away.
Thank you everyone who is watching for tuning in. Please leave a like, subscribe to the channel, and leave some comments. As always, we are on that race to 100 subscribers. One of the first 100 subscribers, which could be you if you subscribe today, will get a prize. The finished article, Twitter and Facebook are at the bottom, and you've also got mine and Shazaz's personal Twitters there if you want to reach out. But we're going to get straight into it with, what can I say? Fruity Pebbles is back. Big man John Cena, he came back. So what I don't get, right? Fair enough, right? He came back to challenge Roman Reigns, yeah?
Yeah.
What the heck was he doing on Raw? Roman Reigns is on SmackDown.
Basically,
but anyway, this is just WWE booking for you, bro. Some of it doesn't make sense. Some of it does. So John Cena turns up on Raw. He has a brawl moment with Riddle.
Yeah.
And then he turns up on SmackDown, challenges Roman Reigns. Roman Reigns comes out at the end of the... Oh, sorry. Before we get into that, I want to give a shout out to Paul Heyman. The way he ripped John Cena's theme music was hilarious, man. I was in stitches, bro. At the end of that promo, I was in stitches, bro. I'm not even going to lie to you. That was hilarious. I could watch that again and again. That was well funny.
I think it's one of the classic moments that we've seen in WWE. In fact, you know what, Shaz, why don't you bring that up right now so we can watch it together and share it with the viewers? What do you reckon?
What, the Paul Heyman thing?
Yeah.
I don't know, bro. We might get a copyright strike for that because it's on WWE's channel, isn't it?
Okay, well, guys,
I'll try and find a copy. If we can find it, we'll talk about it. But bro, you give me your thoughts on John Cena challenging Roman Reigns and Roman Reigns declining it. But then the Prince Finn Balor came out and got his challenge accepted. Now, you tell me your thoughts on that, bro, and I'll try and find this Paul Heyman thing.
So first of all, I think it was a marketing strategy to bring Cena back. I don't think there is any angle for him to actually win the title. I think basically what they needed to do is fans were back in the arena, and they needed a crowd lifter. So what they did is they had Vince McMahon at the start of the show, kicking it off. Then you had Cena at the end. So basically what they needed is we need TV viewings, and we need to get the pop going again because we haven't seen it in a while. So Cena comes out, and my instant reaction was, okay, this is a bit refreshing, but where are we going with this? Then he comes out and with his promo, takes the cap off, runs from side to side, and has a conversation. And man, listen, bro, you're not the Rock, so please don't try and start talking about passion, loyalty. But for me, it's a marketing strategy because, as you said, and we'll touch upon this shortly, I think WWE are just booking stupidly. We saw what happened with Karrion Kross. That was.
We'll get into that in a bit, bro. We'll definitely get into that. But I found it, bro. I found it, bro. So I'm bringing this up, bro. It's too good not to show the fans, bro.
No,
where are we? Chrome tab. There we go. So get ready for this, Shaz. Can you see that? Yeah. Oh no! Hold on. Just get rid of this banner. Boom. We've got our man, Fruity Pebbles, in the ring, yeah?
Yes.
A big shout out to the channel that we've got this video from. It's not WWE. It is Ivan Einhorn HD. Big shout out. Hopefully he doesn't give us a copyright strike. But yeah, I'm going to play this and I'm just going to let you lot enjoy it. Actually, no, hold on. Hold on. It didn't share the audio. Let me just grab the audio of it as well. I always forget to tick the little box that says share audio. So I'm listening to it. You lot can't hear it. Crazy, innit? But yeah, here we go. We've got it now. Yeah, here we go. I'm just going to play this. This. Paul Heyman is just awesome, man. And man, guys, that is just hilarious. I'm sorry, but that's just good. That is just too good not to keep watching, bro. Oh, that guy's crazy, bro. That guy's crazy, fam. But yeah, so moving on from Fruity Pebbles, bro, I'm going to talk about Finn Balor for a sec.
Yeah.
Since Finn Balor obviously started over in New Japan Pro Wrestling, that's where he got famous, like in wrestling. Obviously, he started the Bullet Club. He started the Bullet Club with the Too Sweet and everything. He made himself a big name over in New Japan Pro Wrestling, and then he brings himself over to NXT, absolutely destroy NXT in his first run. And then he got moved up to Raw and SmackDown, and then he got lost in the shuffle. I don't know, I just don't think they knew what to do with him.
No, that's true.
And then obviously when NXT debuted on the USA Network, you know, the Prince Finn Balor was back. And that run that he had from there up until he lost his championship to Karrion Kross was such a brilliant run, bro. I don't think the whole time that he was that run while he was champion, he didn't lose a match, bro.
No, I don't think he did, no.
From when he came back onto NXT until he lost to Karrion Kross, he didn't lose a match. Now, from that, bro, you take him onto SmackDown. And now, yeah, he had the little match with Sami Zayn because he interrupted Sami Zayn. Sami Zayn wasn't happy. Finn Balor took care of business there, as he always does. But then he's challenging Roman Reigns for the championship. Now, I've got a feeling that they're gonna drop the ball here, WWE. They're definitely gonna drop the ball here, bro, because Finn Balor shouldn't be losing this match. He's just came back onto, as they call it, the main roster, and he shouldn't be losing this match. No matter what, if he loses, it shouldn't be a clean loss. If you know what I mean.
Yeah.
Someone should interfere. Maybe the Usos will interfere and help out the cousin, the big dog, the tribal chief, the head of the table, Roman Reigns. But if it's a clean one, then we're going to struggle. I'm going to struggle to carry on watching SmackDown, even though Finn Balor's on it. But before we go, we've got my man Raz Bob from work, Ryan. Big shout out, man, for tuning in. He's saying makes no sense, too soon. I'm guessing he's referring to Finn Balor there, coming back and just going straight for the title, which he's bang on. It's definitely too soon. They should be building him up on SmackDown.
This is the problem we talked about at the start. This is where the bookings get ridiculous. So whilst they're trying to be creative, what they've done is they pushed the main event way too quickly, whereby they could have built up the suspense, and they've just gone, you're the main event. It's going to sell anyway, but it would have been good to build it, get the hype up, and then sell it. But that's WWE for you these days.
So they should have built him up over the next couple of months to be a legit star on SmackDown. Obviously, he's just beat Sami Zayn. Next, maybe, you know, he goes after someone like Shinsuke Nakamura. You know, some of the, maybe even Big E. Obviously, Big E's got the Money in the Bank, which we'll touch on later.
Yeah.
You've got Seth Rollins. Seth Rollins and Finn Balor will be a good feud because, correct me if I'm wrong, Seth Rollins was the reason Finn Balor won the Universal Championship and then had to relinquish it because of his injury.
Yeah.
So they can bring that into it. like just like they've done with Seth Rollins and Edge. Coming, Seth Rollins said something, 7 years ago, I could have, destroyed you, I could have ended you completely when he had his foot on his neck, where I believe, John Cena was the only person that could bring the Authority back.
That was the
And
storyline.
obviously, because he had his foot on his neck, John Cena brought the Authority back. That's where it was all from.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's going to be a good feud. Don't get me wrong. Seth Rollins and Edge are going to absolutely kill it if they get to do it the way that they want to. But Finn Balor, I've got a feeling he's going to lose to Roman Reigns, and then he's just going to get lost in the shuffle, bro, just like he did last time. And then a year, maybe 2 years down the line, he's going to be back on NXT as NXT champion for the third time. This is just WWE booking for you, bro. It's just mad. But yeah, let's move on, man, from that. I'm going to bring the next one up, bro. What is up with the Usos' hair?
Yeah,
what is with the redness in their hair, bro?
I watched this the other day, and I was like, okay, seems interesting. Then I saw the paint, and I was like, are we really gone back to the Usos of old? I'm like, I didn't understand it.
Yeah, same here, man. I was like, it's a bit mad, wasn't it?
Yeah,
it is what it is. I think one of them having the red color would have been all right, and not the other.
I thought one of them
it differentiates them from each other.
Yeah, I thought Jimmy had. I didn't realize Jay had it as well.
I think Jay had it. No, Jay had it first, and then Jimmy got it after. I think, or something. It's just weird, bro.
Yeah,
but yeah, this next one, big shout out to Nikki Cross winning her first women's championship, beating Charlotte Flair after cashing in that Money in the Bank briefcase that she just won. Money in the Bank, that's brilliant. Let's go on to the main attraction for today, bro. Let's bring it up. You ready?
Yeah, I'm ready, bro. I'm ready.
Boom. Rumour is Daniel Bryan and CM Punk have now signed for AEW. So the way this is going to play, bro, CM Punk is definitely going to get to use his own name because he owns the rights to CM Punk.
Okay.
But Daniel Bryan doesn't own the name Daniel Bryan. That's not even his real name.
That's stage name, yeah. How about you?
That's his WWE name. So he's not going to be able to use that name. He's obviously going to go back to the name that he had before he joined WWE, which was Bryan Danielson, the American Dragon, I believe. For one, I can't wait to see CM Punk back if this is true. It's been a long time since we've seen him in a ring. I'm going to say ring because obviously he has been in the octagon getting his ass kicked in the UFC. He's had one of his losses taken off because the guy that he lost to got done for drugs, but he still hasn't won a fight in UFC, and it's the right time for him to come back.
I'm looking forward to seeing his pipe bombs again. His pipe bombs were legendary.
Yes. He's going to get the chance to get an open mic again at AEW. They're just going to let him say what he wants, and I've got a really bad feeling he's going to cut such a sick promo ripping the WWE. It's going to be absolutely amazing to watch. Daniel Bryan and CM Punk are both, from the rumors, is that they both signed around the same time. Now, the rumor was that Daniel Bryan signed first, and he was due to debut at the next pay-per-view. I think, is it All In?
Yes, correct.
But now CM Punk has signed, and I believe All In is in Chicago, which is his hometown. So it would make 100% more sense to have CM Punk debut in his hometown because of the reaction and the buzz that would create. But it's ruined the plans for Bryan Danielson to come and debut on that same show. So the other part is that there is a show, I think, a couple of weeks after the pay-per-view, which is in Washington, which is the hometown of Daniel Bryan. Now, if I know AEW like I know AEW, bro, they should be debuting CM Punk at All In, and then they should be bringing Daniel Bryan at his hometown. But AEW like to put a twist on things. So I've got a feeling that they're going to still debut Daniel Bryan or Daniel Bryanson Bryan Danielson at All In, which is the hometown of CM Punk, they'll still get a killer reaction because he's such a big superstar. And then they'll bring CM Punk either on the same show at All In, or they'll bring him to the next show at Washington, which is obviously Daniel Bryan's hometown. Do it the other way around.
Yeah, role reversal. Yeah, no, I hear you.
Now, there's a couple of other things that I wanted to touch on, bro. I don't know if you've heard it, but Jeff Hardy has tested positive for COVID-19.
No, I haven't heard that. No.
Shit. So we've just had. This is what you spoke about earlier, Karrion Kross. This is another thing that I want to talk about. What are WWE doing with this guy? They've built him up on NXT to be unbeatable, right? His first run, undefeated. He wins the NXT Championship from Keith Lee. He has to give it up due to injury. He comes back. He's still undefeated. He beats the Prince Finn Balor, who has been undefeated for about nearly 2 years in NXT or something, or a year or so at least, and wins his second title, NXT Championship. And then, for some weird reason, for no apparent reason, he debuts on Raw on his birthday without Scarlett, without the NXT Championship around his waist, and he loses quickly, might I add, to Jeff Hardy. Yes, Jeff Hardy cheated, but what the heck are WWE doing?
Well, do you remember we had this conversation a while back where I said the same about Asuka as well? So when she made her debut at WrestleMania, she was, I think, 500 days unbeaten. And then she was going into her first championship match against Charlotte Flair and then lost. And I was like, so why would you push someone so hard only for them to lose at WrestleMania? Yes, she built herself back up, but I think that was poor storyline telling. It doesn't make any sense. And the same thing, they've just messed around Karrion Kross. Yes, I understand what you say. So in terms of NXT, he'll be unbeaten. But the fact is, a loss is a loss. So the fact is, if you go promoting back up to Raw or SmackDown, you've got to be able to twist that storyline to be able to sell him now. So you just made the guy go up unbeaten, have a quick match against Jeff Hardy because you were too stupid to plan the storyline out properly.
Yeah, that's if you're going to have Jeff Hardy win, why just bring Karrion Kross up just to lose?
Exactly.
You've just built this guy up for what, the past 2 years, I believe, as undefeated. And now you've just had him come on Raw, debut, and lose to Jeff Hardy. And not just lose to Jeff Hardy, right? He turns up without Scarlett, which I have no idea why. Apparently, when they bring him up to Raw SmackDown, it's going to be without Scarlett, which is bizarre because his whole gimmick is with her. And secondly, this guy is the NXT champion, and he turns up on Raw without the championship belt. Now, people are going to say, yeah, it's NXT. Why would he bring his title to Raw? But if you remember, Kevin Owens debuted on Raw as the NXT champion, and he brought his championship with him.
I remember.
So why can't this guy do the same?
Like I said, bro, I think they messed up.
A comment that Ryan's just put in, I'm going to bring this up. Vince hates NXT. He probably does because it's doing miles better than Raw and SmackDown.
No, I think what it is, and Ryan, thank you for that comment. So I'm glad you brought that up because for me, basically what Vince is basically can't admit to himself is he's past it, bro. You got Shawn Michaels and you got Triple H who are literally smashing NXT ratings out. And Bichara Vince McMahon is struggling to keep Raw and SmackDown. Now, do you remember Tommaso Ciampa's famous quote when the invasion happened a few years ago? He said that NXT was the main roster. And lo and behold, I think it's actually true because you get more enjoyment from watching NXT than you do watching Raw and SmackDown because there's no direction and it drastically needs a shake-up.
Yeah, no, definitely. Vince should realize now, especially with the way that fans are with WWE, that his time is up.
Bro, his time was up when he went PG rated.
Yeah, exactly, man. Now, what I think... So WWE have hired creative writers and producers that have no knowledge of wrestlers. Now, a good point from that is they hired a wrestler. They hired a writer or producer, a female, who went onto a podcast while she was still signed to WWE, saying that she had no, she was never told the background of some of the top stars on Raw. So Bobby Lashley, all the bigger names, and she didn't even know Bobby Lashley's full name. She actually thought he was called Bobby Thompson or something weird like that. And these are the type of people WWE are hiring. And after that podcast that she was on or interview, she got sacked for her comments. But she's exposed WWE for, what they're doing wrong.
Unprofessionalism.
They should be hiring, you've got former wrestlers. You've got former wrestlers, bro, right?
Yeah.
That are out of a job, that are retired, that maybe need some money. Yeah. Why not hire them? You've got Shawn Michaels, Road Dogg, Triple H running NXT, right? Why not have other wrestlers like, let's say, I don't know, Bret Hart, Kevin Nash, Scott Hall, just to name a few there. Why can't they be creative? Why can't they do producing?
You know what I think has happened? And I was talking to a couple of mates about this earlier. It's actually glad you brought that up. I think you remember back in the Attitude Era when you had the Monday Night Wars.
Yeah.
You had Raw and then I believe it was Nitro. Correct me if I'm wrong. But I think what's happened,
Nitro,
So since that competition has dwindled down, for so long WWE would just keep on producing shows on their own without having a competitive edge. What's happening is they become so stale that they don't even realize themselves how bad they've got. So it's almost like you need somebody to come and kick their ass, which I believe AEW is trying to do or looking to do. But I would put it down to that. I think that Vince is just stuck to his tried and tested. I think the whole backroom management needs to change. Not at NXT, but from higher up. I think it's just a shambles, in my opinion.
No, you're right, man. It's just crazy the way WWE are booking people. Now, there's been a couple of people talking about Daniel Bryan, right? Yeah. Now, the reason I'm bringing this up is because they're saying that he's screwed WWE over by signing with AEW for more in more than one way, not just by not re-signing with WWE, but he's supposed to be on a show with his wife at Total Bellas.
Right.
He's one of obviously the Bella twins are on that show. It's about their family. And Daniel Bryan is the husband of Brie Bella.
Yeah.
So because now he's signed with AEW, WWE aren't going to let him onto this show. Let's be honest.
No.
WWE aren't going to let an AEW superstar on that show. That would just be stupid on WWE's behalf for doing that. So a lot of people are saying Daniel Bryan screwed him over. But I don't think he has. Right? Mm-hmm. Now, before he left WWE, I was giving him a lot of shit, bro. You remember the old podcast that we did on Daniel Bryan, right? I was giving him a lot of stick, man, and it wasn't his fault. It was creative and the producers and all that were actually behind the reason of my frustration with it. Because yes, Daniel Bryan's a good wrestler, but he was shoved down everyone's throats over and over again, and it just got too much for me. Just like with John Cena as a babyface and Roman Reigns when he was a babyface as well. I couldn't stand him either. But now that he's a heel, now that he's the head of the table, the tribal chief, I'm going to say it, Shaz, I acknowledge him. And I'm saying that because he's turned it around, bro. He's turned his character. He's changed his whole character, bro.
Yeah.
From being, a member of the Shield wearing whatever he was, the vest, to now being a dominant heel. And he came back and won the WWE Championship. I believe, what is it, at SummerSlam last year? or maybe the year before. No, last year, yeah. It was SummerSlam last year that he won it against Braun Strowman and Bray Wyatt in the triple threat match, yeah?
Yeah.
And he hasn't lost a match since.
No, but I want to add.
The guy's just transformed himself into unbeatable, man.
So there are certain characters that can go from babyface to heel, and Roman Reigns is always going to be able to do that because, as you said, I think he's better as a heel because it suits his character.
Oh, yeah,
John Cena, aka Fruity Pebbles, can never be a heel because he just comes across as a clown now. His shorts, I liked him when he was the Doctor of Thugonomics because he was just raw and uncut. But unless you bring that John Cena back, I can't see how you're going to make him heel again because he's just too much of a goody two-shoe, and I think they've just done it because they've run out of ideas. I mean, bro, do you know what? They might as well hire you and me. We'll write better storylines and we won't even have to go there. Vince might as well pay us the salary, bro. We'll sell your show for you.
Yeah, man. I mean, Raw's on tonight as well, isn't it?
Yes.
So before we close the show, we'll talk a little bit about what's expected on Raw and stuff like that. I mean, I've got the list up here, so the preview of it.
Go for it,
yeah. And once we've done that, we'll close this down. I mean, if there's anybody watching that wants us to talk about anything in particular, AEW, WWE, whatever, leave it in the comments. And after I've done the preview, we'll run through them comments.
Yeah.
So Ryan, if you've got anything else you want to say about AEW, WWE, even just wrestling in general, just pop it down. We'll sort it out.
Yeah.
So officially, John Cena isn't announced for the show tonight.
Okay.
But WWE have Randy Orton advertised to appear. He's just been inactive since he lost that match for the Money in the Bank. Bobby Lashley is scheduled to respond to the SummerSlam challenge from Bill Goldberg, but Goldberg isn't actually scheduled to appear. Great stuff. Tonight's show will be headlined with the main event of the Raw Tag Team Champions, AJ Styles and Omos, defending against the Viking Raiders.
Okay.
And I know from last week, there is a tag team match between, I think, teaming up together for the first time, Mansoor and Mustafa Ali, but their opponents haven't been announced. There are a couple of dark matches that have been announced. They're saying the most likely dark matches. You've got Rhea Ripley and Charlotte Flair, Drew McIntyre versus Lashley. They're probably going to be before. One of those matches will be before they go live, and one will be after as a dark match. But that's all they've got set. That's all they've got set for Raw. I mean, also obviously the Raw Women's Champion Nikki ASH will be having a celebration for her championship. So that's all they've got announced for the show, which it's hardly anything. What Bobby Lashley's going to give his answer to Bill Goldberg, which we just saw Roman Reigns do to John Cena, who said no. Then you've got the tag team championships on the line. Mansoor and Mustafa Ali teaming up against. I'm guessing here, bro. It's just going to be some jobber type team that they're going to beat.
Yeah.
And then obviously you've got Nikki Cross celebrating her championship win last week over Charlotte Flair.
Yeah, you know what? It doesn't make me want to stay up and watch it. That's how I sum it up. I think
you're right, bro. It doesn't scream anything that you want to watch it. You know what I mean? It doesn't have anything that screams that I want to watch this. You know what I mean?
Do you remember back in the day we used to come to each other's houses, or I used to come to yours, and we used to grab a pizza and watch WrestleMania? Bro, those days are over.
Exactly, man.
Because the way the company's going right now, having WrestleMania over 2 days, and it's just, guys, come on, seriously. It's like you're meant to be the Super Bowl, sell it, make events. I mean, the last time I got excited about WrestleMania was back in WrestleMania 30, and well, I'll leave it at that when it comes to WrestleMania 30 because that was a huge letdown. I mean, but yeah, I mean, I want to give a big shout out to the women's division because whilst Nikki Cross won, I'm glad it freshens it up because it gives them different angles to go at. Because what they're trying to be creative, and this is where like so Bill Goldberg, I love the guy, but it's like he comes out of retirement, goes out, bro. The guy can't.
Don't get me started on that guy, man.
The guy comes out of the grave more than the Undertaker does right now, because the Undertaker ain't there. There's basically got Bill Goldberg rising.
I mean, if you look at AEW, right, they've got a show on tonight, Dark Elevation, yeah. Now, and they're promoting all the matches that they're going to be having. Tonight they've got the Bunny and I can't even read that name. The Bunny and someone versus Chris Statlander and Tay Conte women's tag team match. And they've got a couple of other matches announced. But what I'm trying to say is, when AEW do a preview of a show, they have maybe the main event and a couple of other matches that people are actually going to be interested in announced already for the show.
Yeah.
And that obviously gets people excited about the show, which will make you want to watch it. I mean, I don't know if you've watched AEW recently or even before, Shaz, but the match on this week's Dynamite that's just gone, you had Jon Moxley, which to the WWE fans is Dean Ambrose, facing Lance Archer. If you know Lance Archer from WWE, it'd be Lance Hoyt. They faced off in a Texas death match for the IWGP United States Championship. What a match. What a match. I won't ruin it for you, but that was a brilliant match.
No, that's fair enough. This is what I'm talking about, competition. So they need to be able to rise up and compete against each other because that's what pushes performance. Yeah. And right now, WWE, because they tried to buy out all the independent circuits, are literally sitting as dominant. And this is where Vince needs to realize that, look, in order for this place to succeed, I need to go and I need to freshen up. But I'm going to leave that for now. Because
just one other thing I wanted to touch on before we do close up. This feud between the Inner Circle and the Pinnacle in AEW.
Okay.
You probably don't have a clue what I'm talking about, Shaz, right? Because you don't watch AEW. And these two stables are the reasons you need to watch AEW. So the Inner Circle was formed on the very first episode of AEW Dynamite last year. Now it's Chris Jericho, Sammy Guevara, Santana and Ortiz, Jake Hager, which is Jack Swagger from WWE. Now, Santana and Ortiz are such an amazing tag team, bro. I followed them from Impact Wrestling. They were part of LAX in Impact Wrestling, and they're such a good tag team, bro. Now they've got a feud within a feud, basically, because the Inner Circle are feuding with the Pinnacle, but you've also got Santana and Ortiz feuding with FTR. And FTR is the Revival, as you know them from WWE. Yeah. Now, I, for one, cannot wait for these two tag teams to fight, bro. It's just going to be such a good match. And there's no tag team championships on the line when they face off. It's just going to be tag team versus tag team, the Pinnacle versus the Inner Circle, FTR versus Santana and Ortiz. And it's got so personal. It's just going to be amazing. I don't even know when the match is announced for. I don't even think the match has been announced, but that match will be coming soon, bro. And you need to... Shaz, come on, man. I challenge you to watch one episode of AEW, and you still haven't done it, bro. You've got about a week off from work before you start your new job. You can binge watch as much AEW as you can. You will catch up quickly. Get on it, bro. Watch it from the first episode, bro.
You know, I'm gonna have to take you up on that. I might have to
watch it from the first episode. The first ever match on AEW Dynamite was, I believe it was Sammy Guevara versus Cody Rhodes. Cody Rhodes is one of the VPs.
Yeah.
With the Young Bucks and I believe Kenny Omega of AEW. Now you need to watch it, bro. And especially you need to watch the debut of Brody Lee, which is Luke Harper. That was brilliant as well. And you had him as the leader of the faction Dark Order.
Okay.
Trust me, bro. There's so much in AEW going on, and they give them all the time and the TV time that they need. You've got the Death Triangle, which is do you know Adrian Neville from WWE?
Mm-hmm.
Obviously, on the indie scene, he's known as the Bastard Pack. And in AEW, that's what he's known as. Him and his two partners, Ray Phoenix and Penta Jr. Bro, trust me, you get onto AEW, you'll say, what is WWE compared to this? You'll think WWE is a joke when you start watching AEW. And that is no word of a lie. Ryan, tell him, bro. Tell him how good AEW is.
You know what? I might have to, because WWE isn't exactly doing anything, and what I have to see.
Trust me, man. You watch the first episode, first month of AEW. Even before they were on Dynamite, they had a few pay-per-views leading up to getting a TV deal. So you had All Out, All In, and they had a few other like Fighter Fest and stuff like that. Watch them as well, bro. We've got there you go. We've got Ryan popped up there. It's mint.
Nice.
It's mint. That doesn't obviously give it justice, because I know how much Ryan absolutely loves AEW compared to WWE. But yeah, Shaz, get on it. And then we can start doing shows on AEW instead of WWE, man.
We might have to. But
we need to get on that, bro. But I'm going to wrap it up there, bro. I've been ranting and raving about AEW and WWE for quite a while right now. So I'm going to put a stop to it there now, sorry. And we'll be back again maybe tomorrow with another video.
We will indeed. Tune in for more, and until next time.
Tune in tomorrow. See you later, peeps.
Yeah.